Hey guys, so in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this peppermint design, which was designed by me, and I'm really happy with this design. I absolutely love it. I think it turned out so cute and exactly how I wanted it to. I actually thought about making these originally a little smaller, but because of how we do the stripes, this is about as small as they can get. But they actually don't take that many bands at all. This is actually a fairly easy design. The pattern's fairly short. I was writing the pattern down yesterday so I could make a tutorial for this today. And it's actually really easy. I thought there was more steps, but I guess it was just me trying to figure it out that took a while. So yeah, if this is an easier design, so if you're barely making something in mine or you don't like attaching that much, this is pretty good because the only things we really attach are these, like I don't know, I've been calling them flaps, so I guess the flaps. But we stitched those in, so it's not too bad. So this actually doesn't take that many bands at all. So it takes 103 bands in total, minus the flaps. I haven't counted the flaps yet, but it's 32 of whatever color you're going to use for the stripes, and then 71 white. I almost said 103 again. I swear, I apologize in advance for how scatterbrained I am in this video. I think finals week just stressed me out so much and my brain isn't 100% back yet. I'm just kind of tired still. But I did want to film this tutorial to get it out before Christmas so everybody has time to make it. I also just wanted to show you because like this is how it would look without a face, in case anyone wonders that. I feel like I always put faces on everything, but I barely made this last night, so I haven't really had time to put the face on yet. And yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to be using a double-ended hook today just because I like my double-ended hook. You're also going to want some eyes, a C-clip to mark your rows, and some stuffing. And yeah, you're just going to want to get whatever colors you want for this. I also just wanted to say, because I know some people don't have clear bands, that you don't have to use clear. I just use clear because I have clear, but I think white would look okay as well. Or if you use, I don't know if you guys have Jelly Glow Blue, that color might also look okay. Honestly, I think any jelly color might look cute. So you can do whatever color for the wrappers. Don't feel like just because you don't have this color you can't make it. I honestly think it would look cute with any color. I just wanted to say that. But now I think we're ready to get started. So I'm going to move these guys out of the way. So to start, you're going to want to get your white or whatever color you want for the white part. So I'm just picking up some bands. But yeah, like I said at the start of this, I don't know if I said that. I think I did. This is my third time filming this because the first time I forgot to say the band count. I forgot to count my stitches per rows. I was just a mess. But I got this far. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish them later. I'm using purple in this video. It's like a magenta E purple. But yeah. So to start, let me make sure it's focused. We're going to wrap a band 3 times around our hook. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to pull a band through everything on our hook. Put both ends back on. And then push the back one over the front one. And now we're going to go back into the cap band. Pull a band through just the cap band, so not this last one. Then once again we'll be putting the back one over the front one. And then we'll put this other loop over from last time. Like that. And we're going to want to do that exact same thing we just did 3 more times, so we have 5 loops in total. So I didn't go through the full cap band. Always make sure you go through the full cap band. It should look like 3 loops when you pick up the cap band. But you'll just pull a band through just the cap band, put the back one over the front one, and then put that other loop over as well. Let's do this 2 more times. So pull the band through just the cap band, both ends back on, back one over the front one, and then that other loop. And we just do that 1 more time, like that. And then after that, you're going to want to make sure you have 5 loops. So to count, you're just going to start with counting by counting the one on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this last one might look like it's a loop, but you can kind of tell it's going this way, so it's not. It's just part of the first loop. But yeah, so that's how you can tell you have 5 loops. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to be putting our C-clip in. So instead of going back into the cap band, we're going to go into this first loop. And we'll just make a stitch like we did in the cap band. Except for we only pull it through the loop. And then we put the back one over the front one. And then we put this other loop over as well. And then we'll be putting our C-clip on this. So now we're going to start our first row around. We're going to be increasing everything this row. And I'll show you what it increases in a second. I'm just picking up some bands. taking me a second. Okay. So what it increases is basically we put 2 stitches in each loop until we get back to the C-clip, because an increase is just you put 2 stitches in one loop. So this one already has 1 in it, but because we're increasing everything, we're just going to go back in and do another one. So we'll just make a stitch like that. And then we'll go into the next loop once the first loop has 2. So we do 1 stitch. And then we go back in and we make another stitch. And that's an increase. And we just keep doing this until we get back to the C-clip. So just go into the next loop. Make 1 stitch. You go back in. You make another one. We just keep doing this. I feel like I'm being really confusing today. I did not think that 100% like that filming this weekend was probably a good idea, because I don't know, I just feel so scatterbrained. I feel like it's because I'm stressed because of like graduation, and like I was waiting for my drawing 2 grade and I got my grade today, but it just doesn't seem correct, and I'm like, I'm just stressed. So my brain is like, when I get stressed, my brain goes like everywhere. It's bad. But once you get to the band with a C-clip in it, you'll just make a stitch and move it up. So after that last row, we should have 10 loops. So if we count, we start by counting the one on our hook, of course. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it for this round. So this next row, we're going to start adding the stripes. And I could actually now use this half bit thing I have. So what we're basically going to be doing it like this. So we do 2 white and then 2 red and then 2 white and then 2 red. But where'd my other guy go? If you want to do it like this, instead of doing 2 and then 2, you're just going to alternate like 1 white, 1 red, 1 white, 1 red, and he'll end up looking like this. But if you want to do it so they look like this is what you do. And I'll be showing you how to do this because I feel like this is harder. But yeah, just remember, if you want it to look like this, you just do 1 white, 1 red, and you just flip like that. So this row we'll be starting the stripes as well as increasing every other loop, but also at the end of this row we increase 3 in a row. So there's a lot happening in this one row. If anything, this one row is the most confusing, so if you get past this row, you should be okay. Okay, so we did 1 white already, so the next one has to be white because we're doing 2 white and then 2 purple. So this is also 1, so this next one's also an increase. So the first part of the increase will be white, and then the second part will be purple. Like that. And then because we just increased, because we're increasing every other loop, this next one's just a single stitch or a normal stitch. And it's purple because you have to do 2 purple stitches. And then the next one will be an increase. And this increase will just be white. We just put 2 stitches in this loop. And the next one, we just do 1. Then we increase on the next one. We only need 1 purple. We go back in and do another stitch, but in white. Like that. And then because we just increase, we just do 1 normal. And now we should have 3 loops left, so these last 3 are all increases. So the next increase should just be a purple one, and then we'll do white increase and then another purple increase. So increase. Then we do another increase, so we're on the last 3, they're just all increases. So we do another increase, but this time in white. And then the last increase should be purple. And I'll go over what we did this row again in case anybody's a little lost. So after that end of that last row, your mint should look something like this. Unless you did it the other way, then it should look like 1 white, 1 red, or 1 white, 1 purple. However you do it, you just alternating colors. But after that last row, we should have 16 loops. So if you count, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But basically what we did that last row is we increased every other, so it was like 2, then 1. You can kind of see what I did. But then on these last 3, it was 3 increases in a row, if that makes sense. So like I said, that was the hardest row in that whole thing. Now we're going to be doing 3 rows normal. So we're just putting 1 stitch in every loop until we get back to the C-clip. But we're still doing the stripes. So the stripes actually are easy to me after this point because wherever the stitch is white, you're going to make a white stitch on it. And wherever the stitch is colored or whatever, like whatever color you're using, for me that's purple. So wherever the stitch is purple, I would do a purple stitch on it. So yeah, I feel like it's pretty easy. I'm just picking up bands, but it's taking me a little longer because I'm trying to put them in order on my hand. Okay. So we already did, so the next stitch is white, and we're just doing 1 stitch in every loop until we get back to the C-clip. So after each of these rows, you should still have 16 loops. And like I said, we're doing this for 3 rows, so if you want to go off and get ahead, you can, but I'm going to stay on for 2 rows for anybody who gets a little confused. So yeah, so we're just putting 1 stitch in every loop, and just make sure that you're matching the color, whatever color you're using, to the color you're making the stitch on, if that makes sense. If you're confused, just watch what I'm doing. I feel like it's easier to see than to explain. But yeah, we're just doing 1 stitch in every loop until we get back to the C-clip. And we're just continuing the stripes. And I don't do anything like fancy to switch colors. I know some people will do like, I think it's their, I like slip knot stitches or something like that. But we're just making normal or single stitches, just switching the color to match the color we're making a stitch on. Okay. I hear my family arguing about TV or something, my aunt. I don't know. But I'm sorry if you can hear them. They might get loud. Sometimes they get loud. So I'm almost done with the first row. And now, once you get to the C-clip, you just make a stitch on the band with the C-clip in it and move it up. So after that last row, you should have 16 stitches still, so I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like that. So now we're going to be doing 2 more rows just like this. Like I said, I'll stay on for 1 more, and then I'll go off to do the last one. But yeah. I thought about, like, because I finished this, like, other bit, like, this is how far I got last time before I had to start over. But I thought about, like, just taking apart the red dude and then just making a different one. But then I was like, nah, I'm just going to make another min. I really like these designs, so doesn't hurt to have more of them, I guess. And yeah, I'm just picking up some bands. It just takes me a second because of the color thing. Oops. Also trying to keep talking because I can hear my parents, so I really hope you guys don't. But yeah, so we're just going to do the exact same thing we did last time, where we're just putting 1 stitch in every loop until we get back to the C-clip and just matching the color of the stitch we're making to the color of the loop we're making the stitch on. So I'm trying to think if there's anything I wanted to talk about. Like I said, finals week was stressful, to say the least, just because it was just so much work, and I had like a week to do a drawing, and I got 100 on the drawing, and that seems so wrong. I've never even heard of my this teacher giving it 100, and the fact that he gave me one is a little weird, and I kind of want to ask him, like, was that a mistake? But I kind of at the same time don't want to know. So yeah, that's the current situation, but I'm just stressed because I'm graduating and like everyone wants to make a big deal out of it, but I kind of just don't feel like celebrating. So yeah, and I just stayed on for this row just so that way you could watch what I'm doing in case you're confused. But we're just doing the same thing as last row, so that's why I was talking. But yeah, I did feel like I had to make this tutorial like right like this week. I swear I got out of finals week. I looked at the calendar. I'm like, it's already the 12th of December. What the heck? Or like yesterday was the 11th because I really wanted to get these out in time for Christmas. So yes. Once you get to the C-clip, just like before, we'll move it up. So after that last row, you should have 16 loops still. So we'll count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm going to go off to do one more row. We should have 3 rows of just doing like the same thing we've been doing in total. We already did 2 on camera, so I'm going to go off, do one more, and I'll come back and show you how to finish this up. Okay, so I just finished doing that one row. So after we've done 3 rows normal, your peppermint should look something like this. Also, if you ever got lost on rows, there is a way you can kind of count how many you did. So it would look, so I usually count these little bits that are sticking out, if you can see that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We did do 3 rows normal, but this first row we did is going to look like a stripe row, and that's why we have 4, or it looks like you have 4. I just thought I would show you this in case anybody got lost, like counting wise, because you can kind of tell. But yeah, we just finished doing 3 rows normal, and after those 3 rows we should still have 16. So now we're actually done with our stripe color. We're just going to be doing white for the rest of this, and yeah, I never know why I don't remember to pick up bands off camera before I come back on camera, so that way this can go faster. But I never remember. So I'm just picking up some bands. I think I'm good. Okay. So this row will be decreasing every 3rd stitch. So I'll show you what a decrease is, but we're doing it on the 3rd one, so this would be 1. So then we just do 1 single or normal stitch, so that's 2. And then on this 3rd stitch, we're going to do a decrease. So you're going to grab the front part of the first loop and the back part of the next loop, and you'll just make a stitch on this like that. And actually, because of how we have the colors, every decrease you do should be on the colored loops. So it's kind of easy to keep track of where you are. So we'll just do 2 stitches, normal or single. So this is 1, 2, and like I said, the decreases should all be on these striped bands. So we'll grab the front part of the first loop, back part of the next loop, and make a stitch. And like I said, we're not doing the stripey color anymore, so we're just doing it with white. So 1, 2, and then we do a decrease. And 1, oops, 2, and then we do a decrease on this one. Oops. And then the next one after this last decrease should be this band with a C-clip on it, so we'll just make a stitch and move it up. Like that. So after that last row, we should have 12 bands now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now this row, actually you might want to stuff it. I just remembered because it gets a little tight after this and it's kind of hard to stuff. So you're going to want to get whatever you're using for your stuffing. I'm just using some cotton balls I have on my desk. Well, it's kind of already tore up cotton ball from something else I made. So let me just stuff it in. Need a little bit more. I have a stack of cotton balls I tore up and never used the full cotton ball on my desk. Which is funny because in tutorials before I would always have to be like, oh no, I forgot cotton balls, but actually this time I remembered, so that's good. I also remembered to stuff it at a decent time. I wouldn't overstuff this guy because we kind of want him to be flat, so just like that. And you can squish him down at this point. I'm just picking up bands now. So it's taking a second. Okay. So like I said, this row will be decreasing every other loop. So this was 1, that's not a decrease, so the next one's a decrease. So front part of the first loop, back part of the next loop. And then we do 1 normal or single, I don't know, whichever makes more sense to you. And then we do a decrease. And we just keep doing this till we get back to the C-clip. So we do 1 normal. Then we decrease. 1. And our last decrease should be on the one with the C-clip on it, but it's no big deal, so just decrease. And at this point we can actually move out, remove the C-clip, so we're just gonna take it out completely. But since this is the end of the row, we can still count. So you should have 7 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you have one less loop than me or one more, I don't think it's a big deal just because we're closing it up. I always say this, like on the last row, honestly, if you have one less stitch than me or one more, you're probably going to be okay. But yeah, now we're just going to decrease everything until it's closed. So every single stitch we do is a decrease. So I just did 1 decrease. And lately I've been counting how many decreases I do so I can tell you exactly when I decrease. So that was the 2nd decrease. 3rd decrease. Okay, so I did 3 decreases, and I think this one's going to be my last one. So I'm just going to pick up the decrease on my hook. And I'm going to pull a band through everything on my hook. Put the back one over the front one. And pull tight. And then we'll just hide the tail in. So we just pull the tail into the thing so we can't see it. Like that. Like that. And then there we have our peppermint body now. Okay, I was just triple checking how I do the flap. Well, these bits. And yeah, I know how to do them. So, but after that we finished, your peppermint should look something like this. And usually I'll just squish him a little bit so he's a little flatter. Nothing too drastic with the squishing though. And yeah. So now we're going to do the, I've been calling them flaps, but these bits. So I'm just going to get my clear. And there's no exact spot I put these, and I feel like because it's a circle, it's not, you can just pick a spot. So, we're going to go into the side, let me focus it. We're going to go into the side here, and I usually just try to go like halfway, so I'm going to go like right here. And we're going to stitch in 4 stitches, so this is 1. And you're going to want to make these stitches really tight and like together, so this is 2. We'll do 3 and 4. But you're going to want to make sure these stitches are really close to each other. You're not going to want to stitch into your peppermint really spread out. As you can see, mine are like super close. But then after we do that, we're just going to turn back around and start making this stitches in these loops. So just go 1. We'll just make stitches in all of these. And then usually this first loop that looks like a stitch, I'll make a stitch in that one as well. So this first loop that looks like a stitch, we're going to make a stitch in it. Like that. And then we're just going to go across one more time, so we're just going to go back. So we'll just turn our hook again and go back the other way. So we're just making stitches in these loops till we get back. And just like last time, we're going to make a stitch in this first loop that looks like that technically isn't a loop but looks like one. We'll make a stitch in that. And after that, we are done with the flaps, so we're just going to go back into the peppermint. I usually go right next to where the first loop is. And I'll get the band that's the color of my, well, wherever you're tying it in. So for me, that's purple, but if you're tying it in a white spot, you're going to want to make the band white. And you'll just, oops. Oh no. It's fine. Okay. And you'll just pull the band through everything on your hook. Put the back one over the front one and pull it tight. And then you'll tuck this end in. Like that. And then because I don't like how like this end bit looks, I'll get a whatever color your flap is. I should stop calling them flaps. They aren't flaps. I don't know what they are though. And you're just going to wrap it twice around the bottom of it. And you're going to want to make sure that you're wrapping it around the bottom of the clear bands and not the peppermint, because then it might look a little like odd or stretched out, but yeah. And then you should have a flap that looks like that. And we're just going to do this exact same thing to the other side. So, yeah. I was just triple checking to make sure they look correct, but they look correct. And yeah, so we're just going to do the same thing to the other side. This peppermint actually comes together really quickly because after we do this other flap, we basically just put the face on and that's it. So I feel like this is a really easy and fast design. So that's cool. So I usually just try to go directly across from where the other one is. So I'm going to go like right here. And then we'll go right here. And we just stitch in 4 times, like I said. So I just did 1 stitch. This is the second one. And then we'll do 3, 4. And like I said before, you're going to want to make sure these stitches are really close together. You're not going to want to spread them out. Just crowd them. And then once we've done 4 stitches in, we'll kind of turn to go back the other way. And we'll just be putting 1 stitch in each of these loops. And then we're going to also put a stitch in this first little weird bit that looks like a loop but isn't. Oh, actually, no, that's the loop. So that's actually, sorry. No, but we do put a stitch in the one that looks like a loop but isn't. So that one down there. It's kind of hard to show you what I'm doing, but you basically just go into that first loop that looks like a loop but isn't. It's like the folded over bit of the first stitch. And we make a stitch in that. And then we turn and we go back the other way. And we just make some stitches. Oops. Like that. And then once we have it like that, all we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to go down. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I did something wrong on the first one, but this time I didn't have to go into that. Well, no. No, I did it correctly. Never mind. I'm just weird. But now we're just going to go down into the peppermint. And we'll tie it with whatever color the peppermint is. Once again, I'm on a purple spot, so I'll use a purple band. These bands are so slippery. Jelly bands are not fun sometimes with Loomigurumi. But I accidentally bought that whole bucket of jelly bands, so I'm going to be using jelly for a while. Okay, there we go. And we tie it. And then we hide the tail. Honestly, though, if you mess up a little bit on the flaps, it's probably not that big a deal because... Okay, there we go. And now we're just going to tie. We just get another band and we'll wrap it twice around the edge of the peppermint. Ta-da! He has flaps. But like I said, it's not a big deal if you mess up the flaps a little bit, I feel, because this was the first way I did the flap. And that's actually different than the final way I liked it. This guy's flaps are different. I messed up last night, so his are different, but they all look okay. So if you messed up a little bit on the flap bit, I feel like it's not a big deal. It'll look fine. As long as he has bits like sticking out, he'll be okay. I'm just trying to fix this one because I don't know. They look fine. Okay. And now we're just going to put the face on. So the face is always really easy to do. I usually just pick a spot I want the face. There's never really an exact spot. So I'm going to put his eye right here. And we'll tie it in. Like that. Hide the tail. There we go. Oh god, I don't know if now they're going to be too close to each other. Okay, we'll put the other one. I was going to put it right here, but that feels too close. I maybe should have spaced the eye out more. Okay, wait, I'm going to go undo the eye real quick. Okay, I got the eye out, but I had to re-put it on the band because it kind of came out. So, I'm going to put the right eye right here instead. The eyes, honestly, I never really tell you exactly where I'm putting them because it's kind of just a trial and error thing of where you want them to be. If you have safety eyes, it's a little easier to tell where you're putting them before, but I always use beads, so... And I always forget to say this, when people say, can you, like, do the creation? If you don't have beads, then you can totally just wrap a band 4 times around your hook and tie them in, and it'll look like eyes. Where should I put this eye? I kind of want to put it right here, but I don't know if that's too close. I'm just going to put it right here. No, that's perfect. There we go. Oh, he looks cute already. So I'm going to do the cheeks the way I usually do the cheeks if you ever made my star or anything. That's how I do them. So basically I try to pick a spot like directly under the eye. So I'm going to go right here. I pull a band in. Then I put the back one over the front one, but I don't pull super tight. So I just pull it tight enough where it'll stay, but it won't. It's not like suffocating, I guess, like the band. And then I just tuck the end in. Like that. And we do the same thing on the other side, so I usually just go right under where the eye is. Pull a band through. Put the back one over the front one, and I just don't pull it too tight, I just pull it tight enough. And I'll hide the tail. Like that. And he is done. I feel like this other flap looks a little... Like, this one looks perfect, the first one I did. But this guy looks a little, like, wonky, and I don't know what I did, because I did them exactly the same. Sometimes that just happens with the flaps, honestly. But I think no matter what you do, they'll look okay. I don't know how I got this first dude so perfect. I did the exact same thing on this guy. And the second one just does not look good, but the first one does. So if anything, watch how I did the first one. But yeah, I think that's it for this tutorial. If you want to do a mouth, you could always cut a band and pull it in, or you could just leave them without a mouth. I mean, they look cute like this too, but yeah, I usually hot glue my mouth on, and that's why I kind of don't show you guys. But that is it for this video, so subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from me. I actually have a sneak peek of something I made last night that I decided I want to show in this video. So I made this duck. It's supposed to look like a rubber duck, and I'm not sure if I like it yet or if he needs wings, but I thought I would show him. He's kind of like a work in progress. But I kind of just like, because the shape turned out perfect, like, yes. But yeah, so duck tutorial eventually, I guess. But yeah, so that's it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Like I said, I have the elf video coming out. I don't have the elves with me right now, but by the time you're watching it, the next day the elf will be coming out, so it's no big deal. And yeah, I'm gonna go. Definitely check out my Instagram if you want to see like stuff I'm working on. I always post creations there before I ever post them here, just because it's easier. And I think that's it. So I'm gonna go. Bye.